All right, so we're back in the studio. I'm Zach. You might have seen me on a few of the previous posts here and there. And today, for the first time ever, making his debut is my partner in crime.
Yeah, so I'm Andrew. I've been behind the scenes for a while now. Haven't quite made my appearance, but I thought today would be a good time to make my debut. So here I am, and we got something big planned for you today. We thought, to our audience, to our lovely listeners, we want to do something special on this occasion. So, Valentine's Day coming right around the corner this Friday. We're looking what? How much do you think is spent on Valentine's Day every year?
You know that's a scary question with some scary numbers. So I'm gonna pull up the
we got numbers for you guys
now.
All right, let's take a look at that.
So according to the National Retail Federation, the average American spends $161.96 a year on Valentine's Day.
Ooh, so that's only one day. So really they spend $161 for one day.
Yeah, that's a lot of money for one day.
Have you ever spent that much, you think?
Yeah,
for Valentine's Day?
I've had a few big Valentine's Day purchases.
So as Cupid is getting ready, sharpening his arrows and sprinkling his love potions all over the country, we thought we'd go and ask some of our guests that have been on the show previously and that will be on the show later on the year what they thought of Valentine's Day and if they have any suggestions or input regarding this day.
We've prepared a set of questions to figure this out, and we're going to get deep down and personal. So let's get started.
Yes, we celebrate Valentine's Day. It's actually one of our favorite holidays. We think it's a great opportunity to really focus on the relationships in our lives. So we see it as just another excuse to do that.
Yeah, I was going to say, I guess there's a different way we sort of look at it, though. It's almost like, Valentine's Day occurs once a year. It's sort of like this reminder of really cherishing other people and appreciating other people. And for us, that's what we really like about Valentine's Day. We don't necessarily like that commercialism part about it. So I think what you were referencing is sort of like that commercialism part where people are like, oh, it's Valentine's Day. I have to go out and I have to buy this jewelry. I have to go buy these roses, or I have to spend all this money. So that part we are not big fans of, but we do like that, yearly reminder of like, let's get together, let's do something as a couple or as a family or even with other friends and just really spend some time together and appreciate that aspect of Valentine's Day.
We don't think it's overrated. I think it's fun to celebrate love. We celebrate Valentine's Day. We have since we've dated. Braden really loves to cook, as you guys know. He's worked in restaurants. So we learned pretty early on that Valentine's Day is just one day and you can celebrate it any day. And we wanted to find other opportunities to celebrate our love throughout the year. But in short, it's not overrated. We think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think growing up, my parents, and I think Liz's mom as well, they gave us the little gifts on Valentine's Day. Just, $3 to $5 is all it was, but just basically a little gift just to celebrate love in general. It's not just love in a relationship between a husband and wife or a spouse or something like that, but it's I think that's kind of what we think of Valentine's Day, is just a celebration of love in general.
So I come from a family where we celebrated every holiday growing up.
Yeah.
And my mom still believes in celebrating every holiday. So even when I didn't have a Valentine, as far as being part of a couple was concerned, I always received a Valentine. So yes, today I absolutely celebrate Valentine's Day.
Yeah, we celebrated because of her. If it was up to me, I probably just share one of those cards we used to give in class,
Yeah, so I think we both kind of consider Valentine's Day a little bit overrated. It's not something that we tend to celebrate on a regular basis with any strong commitments.
So we don't actually celebrate Valentine's Day, but we do celebrate my birthday, which is actually on the very same day. So we do celebrate it every year, but not
in a totally different context.
Day, yes.
That's an FYI hack right there, is marry someone whose birthday is on Valentine's Day.
Christina and I's relationship began in college when we had no money. So we had a very frugal start. In fact, we told this story when Brad and Jonathan interviewed us, that we met at a barbecue where they were giving away free food. And so we started with kind of that baseline of just having this frugal start in our relationship. But our first date was actually a very frugal date. Christina came to my house and I cooked her dinner. And this was actually the first time that I actually really cooked anything. I was 19 years old. I had done a just very basic things like warmed up top ramen, maybe boiled a couple of eggs. And so this was our first date. I baked Christina chicken. We had a can of baked beans and some rice. And we talked the entire time. And actually, she was actually helping me cook the meal for her. And
yes, I was like, we need to make sure this chicken is cooked right.
Yeah. I was like, is this chicken done? Does this look raw? Is this
like even his roommates were helping out? It was just sort of like this group affair. We're just like, let's come together and make this dinner. Yeah. But I think, just in terms of the amount of money that people spend on Valentine's Day, like Aman said, we had no money. And that was so memorable for us because not only, it was a first date type thing, but even for Valentine's Day, just spending time and cooking dinners together. I mean, we've gotten a lot better with cooking dinner, but that's something that we like to do together anyway. So being able to try out new meals together and cooking at home, we really like that. I think it's a great thing. Even as adults, when you have more money where you can go out to something fancy, even cooking something at home is really nice. So I think as college students, it's a great thing to be able to do together also.
Yeah, definitely. So like we said, Valentine's is one day. So one of our main tips is to go out to do something on a day other than Valentine's Day, because the super gimmicky, Valentine's Day specials are actually usually more expensive than if you go out on the normal day. So I think that's our main tip, celebrate it on a day other than Valentine's Day. The other thing that we found is we like to take advantage of good deals on Groupon or, take advantage of our travel points for like a one-night getaway or just little things like that, take advantage of all these other points we've built up and whatnot over the years. But if we do eat out.
Yeah, I guess, so if we do eat out, so we usually eat out, like Liz said, on a different day, but we also, so on Valentine's Day itself, since we usually don't go out, we'll usually make kind of a nicer dinner as a family or something like that. Just fun things like that. We usually just spend the time together as a family on the day of Valentine's Day.
Well, I don't know about not breaking the bank, because that's when I was breaking the bank, right? That's when I was breaking the bank when I didn't have any business to be breaking the bank, trying to show off. But so I guess what they could do is go to the park and stuff like that. But I was spending money. I was, I was trying to, wine and dine and act like I had more than I had. So
now I'm gonna say we were not together in college, but as a broke college student on campus, there was McDonald's and then there was Steak and Shake. Right, McDonald's was your broke burger place, but Steak and Shake was your upgrade. So Steak and Shake is where I would have my dates take me for Valentine's Day in order not to break the bank. Right, it was, cheaper than a, really nice sit-down restaurant, but more expensive than McDonald's.
We'll try and come up with a recipe that we want to try ourselves at home and kind of make it a fun experience at home.
That's probably the most likely.
Yeah.
Just to like cook something new at home, or you're gonna do that. So.
Wow, that has to be the NBA basketball game we went to. Yeah, so we've come a long way since baked beans and rice for dinner. And we do like to treat ourselves every once in a while. And so one Valentine's Day, we did go to an NBA basketball game. We had great seats. It was just Christina and I, and we had a wonderful time. It was amazing.
Yeah, and like you said, sometimes we'll do something with our kids too, or we'll do things with our friends. And for that particular Valentine's Day, our oldest daughter is just she's really into basketball. And so we just decided, we're going to go together. We're going to do it. And I remember when we came back and Sanoa found out, because you had surprised me, right? Aman had surprised me. And then we came back and Sanoa found out, our oldest daughter, and she started crying and was like, "Why didn't you take me, Daddy? Why didn't you take me?" So that sort of resulted in another problem, is that we had to go to another game and we had to bring all four of them. And so that made it, even more expensive.
I think it was, funnily enough, probably last Valentine's Day, we found ChooseFI and started kind of on our FI journey probably in March or April. Mm-hmm. So it was right before that. So we have an excuse, right? But, I bought tickets for the Broadway show Wicked. So, that was a good chunk of money, $75 or $80 a ticket. And then we went out to kind of like one of the nicer restaurants in Salt Lake. It was, I think, the day after Valentine's Day or something. Mm-hmm. So it was pretty much Valentine's Day, or like right around that. It was like the Friday after Valentine's Day. Basically, we did everything we just said not to do last year. And, we spent a good amount of money, probably $350
a good
on
chunk
Valentine's
of money.
Day. But it was fun,
So it was funny because even before we found FI, after we did it, we said that was fun, but I don't know that we want to spend that much money again on a date. But that was a splurge.
Yeah.
So, you live and you learn, but so it's okay to sometimes have those fun nights where you budget it, and we had budgeted it, right? We'd planned ahead, so that was okay, and we didn't feel bad doing it, and just to go and have fun.
Well, he would be the one spending.
Max probably $200, Get like a, dinner, edible arrangements, and flowers. I could squeeze that out of $200.
Yeah. So when he was spending that money, we were a 2 household income.
Yeah.
However, we were very intentional about our finances
Right.
and not spending on items like cars.
Yeah.
Right.
The really big stuff. Yeah.
Right. So we really focus on not spending a lot on the big things, so that when occasions do come up, you can splurge a little bit.
Yeah.
Actually, once, we don't always go out to a restaurant on Valentine's Day. Actually, most of the time we kind of stay at home or do stuff outside of that. But I do remember one time we went to a restaurant, one of our favorites called Ethos in like the Orlando area. And we had like a nice dinner. And the total bill after tip and everything came out to $45.
Big spenders.
Which actually, like, fun fact about that, I think that was actually the largest restaurant bill that we've ever had as a couple ever before. So
Maybe like a cheap bottle of like $2 Chuck type of wine and some cards.
Go big or go home.
I mean, I would say I think I like them both, but I prefer experiences more. And so lately, for last Christmas, we did this gift exchange, and we've been doing that for Valentine's Day also. And then the Christmas before, we didn't do any gifts at all. So we sort of switch in between experiences and gifts. But for Valentine's Day, what we usually have been doing recently is we'll put our names into a little basket, and each of us get $25, and whoever we pull has to buy a gift for someone else. So the thing that I like about that, it's tangible, it's only $25, but I love that we each get to spend time trying to think about the best gift that we can get for each other. So we include the kids too. So, like Sanoa had Aman last year, and she was very creative, and Aman loves banana pudding. So she used her $25 to buy all the ingredients for banana pudding and to make this really incredible banana pudding for Aman. So it's just really, that's, tangible, but it's also about creating these things and really doing something special for one particular person.
Definitely experiences. So, last year it was about the experience, right? Before that, we've often done road trips or ski trips or ski days, or like one night getaways or other travel for celebrations, not just Valentine's Day, but celebrations in general. We try to travel and get out and do something new. One of our favorite Valentine's Days was we were actually in the Philippines, staying at a nice for the Philippines resort on the beach in Boracay, on one of the islands there. And it was super cheap. And we used all travel rewards to get there. So we spent almost nothing. We spent like $30 for a nice dinner on Valentine's Day night on the beach, and like super nice dinner, and everything else was travel rewards. So you'd think that would be one of the more expensive ones, but that was actually one of our cheaper ones, and also like one of the most memorable.
So Mr. Lee here would prefer tangible items.
Yeah.
I am more the experienced person.
Yes.
But since Valentine's Day is more considered as something for the woman, we kind of celebrate it on the experience level.
Right.
But if we were exchanging gifts, then he would much prefer.
Yeah. If it was travel though, that's the only thing I take over. But yeah, I usually like electronics or something new, like of course a new game, Hitman, the new one or something,
We're definitely experienced people, but with that said, I think a lot of times experience is still something people will spend on, where there are tons of experiences you can have that don't have to cost you an extra penny. For example, one of the things that we really enjoy doing as a couple is going on long walks, hiking or riding our bikes. And so like near our house, there's a really nice bike trail, and we'll just set aside some afternoon hours when before the sun is about to go down and just bike out to like a really cool nature area and spend some time, talking and walking and enjoying the area. And that's a $0 date.
Typically, when we are celebrating things, whatever they may be, they tend to be more experiences than things. So we'll go for a hike or a walk, or sometimes, we'll go to a restaurant if it's, a special event.
So we were talking about all of these different Valentine's Days that we've done. We were thinking about it, and we've been together for over 20 years, so that's more than 20 Valentine's Days together. But we had one particular Valentine's Day that we had a bunch of friends over at our house, and this was pre-kids. So this particular Valentine's Day, we did this Valentine's Day event, we did a murder mystery dinner party at our house. And so all of our friends came over, and it was super creative, and it was basically free. So we made a dish, and everyone else that came also made a dish. And then we had a friend that already had the murder mystery game. And so they came over, and prior to coming over, everyone got their own character that they had to be. I was like a cheerleader, so I had to dress up like a cheerleader. I think you were like a football player. So everyone had these different characters, and we just had the best night. It was just a bunch of friends, and it was for Valentine's Day, but it was really just celebrating how much we cared for each other. And it was really creative and super cheap. And because we hosted at our house, there was leftover food.
So we benefited from that.
Exactly. We had leftover food.
Those potlucks continue to pay dividends.
When we were first dating, we arranged to have a little dinner set up in a historic building. So it was an old post office building that had been converted to an office building. And I had a connection there, just called the manager and said, hey, can we go in the evening? And they said yes. And so we set up a little table, and we had prepared the food in advance. And then I had my little sister, who's 7 years younger, and she was super cute. She was like 12 at the time. I had her come be our servers and like serve us the food. And we had this like romantic candlelight dinner in this historic building. We didn't make a big deal about, the table settings and things like that, but we just made it super fun, and it felt like we were going out to eat, but we spent less than $10 on the food and made it all in advance, and the lighting was awesome, and it was just so much fun. So be creative with where you're eating. In the winter, in some places that can be tricky because you want to be inside, but the historic building was just super fun and, like I said, romantic for us.
I remember this one the most because we were not actually seeing each other yet, and we worked together, not together, but we worked in the same building. So when I went in really early, the first time I was, trying to rope her, and I brought was it one rose?
Yes,
one rose. It was really nice though. One rose and a large Hershey Kiss, and I left it on her desk, and everybody was stunned because everybody knew that she was single. Like, hey, what's going on? Who's dropping this stuff, right? And
boy, that caused a lot of questions.
It was a lot of stir, yeah. It was excitement in the workplace, excitement in the workplace when it's, a boring, place to be, right? Yeah, but that was nice, and it was nice and cheap, but I'm sure it made it packed.
Yeah, it was a nice gesture. It was the effort. I was, I was really touched by the effort because I would never eat a giant Hershey Kiss.
I never knew where that went, by the way. Because she's, we were just getting together, right? So.
Yeah, but it was just so thoughtful.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was, if people are courting, then I think most women appreciate some effort in courtship, right? And then when you get married, you do have to remember what you did in the beginning, so that you kind of keep those fires burning.
Yeah.
So it's kind of hard to answer that question, I think, for both of us, even because we were talking about before this, like, oh, what are some of the best Valentine's days that we've ever had together or whatever? And we didn't really have any like definitive answer to that question. And I think the reason for that really is because in general, our sort of philosophy is every day of your life, you should be sort of spending time with people you care about and like paying attention to your partner and your family and whoever else. And so for us, it's more like holidays, like Valentine's Day or any of the other holidays, kind of just serve as like a reminder to do that every day. Not so much as like a special day that you have to do a special thing on. So I don't think we like tie memories as closely to specific days like Valentine's Day, and that's why we couldn't really come up with an answer for that question.
I think it would be kind of cool if like every Valentine's Day you did something new that you've never done before as a couple, whether it's like, I don't even know,
a painting class together, or just
going
bought
on a
a canvas
hike somewhere, or whatever as expensive or cheap as you wanted it to be, right? That experience, like you could go in a hot air balloon ride for the very first time, or you could, go for a walk in a new neighborhood. I don't know, like.
Yeah. Another unique, I guess, different thing you can do is come up with a list of like your 10 favorite things that you guys did the previous year or the previous month, depending on how long you've been dating, and share that list with each other, write it separately, and then over dinner or something, share your responses and kind of do like a recap of like, hey, these were all the highlights from the year that we experienced together, and like this is how our relationship has grown, and just like a recount of, memory lane, so to speak.
What amazing responses from everybody that agreed to be on our show today.
Yeah, no kidding. That was really amazing. Really glad we got this opportunity.
Thank you so much for tuning in, and hopefully this episode has given you some better or just interesting ideas on how you can tackle Valentine's Day without breaking the bank necessarily.
Yeah, but if that's what you're into. Yeah,
but if that's what you value, then we're all for it. Do what you value.
Do what you want to do.
ChooseFI Media team, out.
Over and out.
All right, if you made it to the end of the video, be sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you are updated for all future videos that come out. Go ahead and leave a comment below if you have anything to say. As long as it's nice, don't say anything mean.
Please don't hurt our feelings. We work really hard at this.
And thumbs up if you like the video. It helps let us know if you like this kind of format. And
if you got like a topic or something that you want to see, maybe as a documentary style or something, we've kind of been toying with that idea, right? We're gonna say that, right?
Yeah, like street documentary style.
Yeah, we've been toying with the idea of doing a street or documentary style series. So if you have an idea for one of those, or like a story that you think should get out there, let us know. Drop a comment in the box and give us some feedback.
We'll see you in the next episode.
All right, guys.
If someone cannot come up with a free way to spend time with someone, a creative way, then it's sad because there's just so much information out there. And we've been very fortunate to be able to find these activities. We're both really into these types of things, and as a side benefit, it just saves us so much money. It's just one of the benefits that we have with our relationship.
Yeah, Braden got me like a really nice bracelet and some like really pretty pearl drop earrings, and they're beautiful. But especially now too that I'm a mom and I have young kids, like even though when we were first married, I very rarely wear them just because I'm a very like practical capsule wardrobe person. So it's still super fun to have them and they are very sentimental, but we also really value the memories together. So we focus more on that now and like making memories with our kids and our family.
You guys are making us laugh. Okay, composed. Back to being stone cold.